Alright, what is up, people? Yesterday I made my video kind of on a more serious note. Well, today it's going to be serious, but more or less kind of less serious. Well, let's cut to the chase. You guys read the title. This video is how to wheelie. So I put my helmet and gloves on and we'll wheelie. That's your first step when you're attempting these wheelies, especially if you're new at them, because this can be very dangerous. And you also want to make sure you're wearing proper footwear, so you get some good traction when you're standing on the grab rail. Now, this video is wheeling on a sport quad, okay? Most utilities can't even do wheelies. If they do, it's just different on them, and it's not as good. The best time to do wheelies is on a sport quad, okay? Or a dirt bike, or a super sport motorcycle, or a sport bike. Just watch your front fork seals, you can blow them. You know, you don't see guys on Harley Davidsons doing wheelies. Same thing, you don't see guys on Polarises doing wheelies. This is best to be attempted on a sport quad, and more importantly, your sport quad. That way you're not going to crash your buddy's quad. And ideally, for a wheelie, you want to be strong and heavier, and of course familiar for quad and be the right size for a quad. You don't want to be a 10-year-old on a Raptor 700 trying this. You got to be able to control the bike and be familiar with its power band. Let me move this sucker. Yes, I'm picking up the back end because I'm strong. There's a few schools of thought for doing a wheelie. There's sit down, where you're basically sitting on the back of the seat and you kind of like pop back, you know, kind of pull up, do a wheelie. I really don't like it. I feel less in control. I'm just kind of at the mercy of it. Some people feel comfortable sitting down. I'm just not one of them. And then there's the whole, you could sit, you know, 1 foot on the grab rail, 1 foot down here if you want to shift. Or you could stand up and just kind of pop yourself back. I really can't hold those out for long. Some people, you could try different things. And if your quad's not that powerful, like you're on a Raptor 125 or a stock Blaster 200, something that's making lots of torque, like really any stock two-stroke, you're not going to be making lots of torque. Or if you're on something a little bit more nose heavy, like a Yamaha Warrior, I mean, it makes good torque and stuff in the Warrior, but it's a little bit more front heavy than something that's like fully balanced like a Honda. Hondas are the best balanced sport quads ever. And this is pretty light for what it is. But if you're on something more nose heavy or heavier, if you're a Raptor 700, doesn't matter, you could use the clutch. Now this is hard on your drive line, like your Shannon sprockets, it is hard on your clutch. You can just give it a little bit of gas and just pull on the clutch. And as you kind of pull on the clutch, give it just a titch of gas. You don't want to be revving, just a titch of gas. While you're leaning back, it'll pop the front end up, and then you can gas it and ride it like a normal wheelie. And if you're good, you can shift on wheelies. I can't shift on wheelies yet. Basically what you do is you get to the balance point and, you know, you shift. And then you keep wrapping and hold it up. I can tell you how that works, but I'm not good enough to do it yet. I myself am still learning how to do wheelies, but I am good enough. I can do a wheelie, and I can tell you guys how to do a wheelie. Now, my preferred method is, I don't like to use the clutch for this. Let's give you a couple moto vloggers out there. You should check out their channel. Zach Attack 24 and Jack Kenny. Alright? Zach Attack 24 is on a 400 EX, so it's not as important that he uses a clutch, but he decides to use the clutch. He's buying the clutches, it's his decision. And then there's Jack Kenny on his 300 EX. Here's a pretty cool video. He sits like this and he uses the clutch. But my preferred method of doing a wheelie is knees on the seat and doing it this way. Or if you really want to get some height, stand on the grab rail and kind of work it into you, get to the balance point. And if you're coming too high, just knees onto the seat, lean forward. Just kind of do one of those. It'll take it right off the wheelie as you chop the gas. But you can kind of hold up there and wrap, and it gives you more control, and it's easier to eject if something were to go wrong. I haven't had it go wrong yet. I just feel more comfortable like that, and also, I'm 180 pounds. So I have 180 pounds I'm standing over that rear suspension. It doesn't take much to get it up. So now I'll just show you a little example. See, I don't do a wheelie from a standstill. It's really hard on clutches doing that. I can't stress that enough, but I mean, if you feel comfortable doing that, you know how to replace clutches, go ahead and do it. See, just a little bit of gas at first. Just practice doing that so you get comfortable. Alright, that's probably a little bit higher you should go at first, but just do the little things like that, or just a little. Just get those tires a few inches off the ground. Get used to the speed it comes up, how much gas you need, and just like how your weight transfer should work. And it's best to practice where it's flat and level, and preferably like in road, like on flat road where there's no one coming. It comes up the best way on there. You want good traction to do a wheelie. Good traction is important because you don't want to spin tires. It'll pull you right off the wheelie, or it'll just spin and won't wheelie at all. But now when you start getting good, you can go up a slight uphill. It kind of keeps the wheelie better. Alright, that one hit balance point pretty hard, but when you start getting good, that's what your wheelie should look like. You come up the balance point, and notice how I wrapped it? I mean, unless you can shift on a wheelie comfortably, it's best to do that, because first gear of this bike will hit rev limiter pretty quick. Just to give you an example, this is how long you have till it hits rev limiter. This is a few seconds, and you're at rev limiter. But if you wrap it, you kind of delay that effect and keep it in the torque band. You want torque, not horsepower. Alright, that one sucked, but it still came up for a few seconds. See how this worked? Seat knees off the seat. I pull that one off because it's head towards the tree, but you see, I stand on the grab rail, I give her the initial goose, get her up kind of high, and then I just kind of wrap her. And the front wheels chop a little. And it's all hunky-dory. Hey, look, that guy did a wheelie. He must have a really small penis. Damn. You gotta watch. See, it pulled me off the wheelie pretty hard because I hit a bump and it affected the rear tires. And because it kind of bumped the back end up, it'll chop you off your wheelie. Like I said, doing it on the road is or like in a flat parking lot, it's probably the best. Because a yard like this is kind of unpredictable and it'll pull you off the wheelie. See, I get where there's no bumps. See, just wrap. Pulled up for a few seconds, looks pretty cool. I was going crazy. I could have tried to be more at balance point, but it's more dangerous that way. I hit rev limiter and stopped the wheelie. Your goal is not to hit rev limiter. High revs, fine, you're pulling hard, you're in the power band, you're going faster, but you start revving out, your wheelie will be short-lived. If you ever watch those videos like the black guys doing wheelies, like those wild out wheelie boys and stuff, they're whiskey throttling it. You don't see them revving out, okay? There's a reason for that. That thing they do. I'm really not that comfortable doing it, so I just like do my braps because I don't know, it's just what I do. Whatever works for you works for you. It's your machine. Hopefully it's your machine you're riding. You could be on your buddy's bike, but I wouldn't recommend doing wheelies on your buddy's bike or anyone else's besides yours bike unless you know how to do wheelies pretty well. When you get to that point, that's when you start getting pretty good. Make a brap. Start out just going. Start out doing that, chopping the front tires. Don't try to get crazy at the balance point until you get a little bit of experience, because it's pretty scary there. And then you can do something like that. That wasn't the best wheel, that's kind of like an intermediate wheel. You start getting a little bit higher, you start wrapping a little. See, just an intermediate wheel. You go from the chop to getting a couple wraps in. Then you go to be able to do this. Hit balance point and then chop it. Get her up the balance point or damn close to it. So I'm not going to do clutch wheelies, because this is 01 on the original clutch. I don't want to start wearing out my clutch. Here, I'll do just a quick one. You can sit on the back. That wasn't high, but I held it out for a second or two. Just whatever works for you, do it. Try really not to go past your comfort zone until you've wheelied for a while, and you know what a bike feels like when it's coming up. It's okay if you're not doing 5-6 second long wheelies. The other day I was doing 5-6 second long wheelies down this road, but I've been wheeling for a while, and it really didn't scare me. If you're brand new, hitting that balance point will scare the shit out of you. It still kind of does, but I've hit it enough, I don't freak out. Just start out small, just a little. Alright, that second one wasn't small. That was actually pretty good, but see that first one was a little chop? I couldn't resist doing that wheelie there. I always have good luck on a wheelie there. But just little chops. See? That's square one. Just a little chop. So chop, chop, chop. You just do those, and you'll get used to how it comes up. You'll get used to how much gas you need and just how you should be positioned. I hit balance point, chucked it, I was able to come back up for a second. And then you advance to an intermediate wheelie like that. But just practice intermediate wheelies. That's all. You want to get a little bit of height, but don't keep it down low. You're getting more comfortable. And after the intermediate wheelie, then just start trying to hit balance point. See, those last couple wheelies are intermediate wheelies. I wasn't really at balance point. This is kind of the gateway to being able to hold out a long wheelie and get balance point. Then you hit balance point. Just hold it there for a couple seconds. Feel what it feels like to be at balance point. And by the time you're hitting balance point, you can say you can wheelie. By the time you can do those little tiny wheelies, you can say you can wheelie, but you're not going to impress anyone. Intermediate wheelies, someone that doesn't ride intermediate wheelie, you'll get in their panties. But if you want to really impress someone that rides, you got to learn how to hit balance point. Balance point is the holy grail, but it's also the most dangerous, so watch your ass, okay? And I'm not taking any responsibility for you guys that wrecked because you screwed up a wheelie, okay? Idea for me to just drop it. I was coming uphill, and I really don't feel comfortable wheeling up that steep. If you're in a situation you're uncertain what you're doing, just drop the wheelie, okay? I could have held it up for longer, but I don't want to go for the hill. Like, if you see a tree, just come off the wheelie, okay? Just come off of it. See, there's a tree? Good wheelie, I come off. I could have held that for a while, I came on. You know why? Because I value my life. But don't be too reckless, okay? Learn to take precautions. Just because you're doing a cool wheelie, your safety is still the most important thing. Well, actually, the bike safety is the most important thing. Just remember that. Bike first. You second. And showing off, impressing people is last. It's dead last on that list. It's cool to do a wheelie, but you don't want to, break a couple $1,000 bike doing it. Just keep that in mind, and just use these tips I showed you, and you'll be wheeling like a pro. And, if I left something out, just let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll make a revamped video. If this video gets lots of views, I'll just make a redo of it. It'll be bigger and better, kind of like my how to ride clutch video. And, hope you guys enjoy. This is shadesmoto, and I'm out.